Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. For those who are new to this channel, well, I'm cycling across the Amazon rainforest, like all of it. And so far you saw me cycling through the jungle, and sometimes I did venture into the rainforest, but not so much. But let's be honest in here, jungle trails can only get you that far. So this time I decided to do something different. I left my bicycle and most of my gear in a village nearby, locked and safe. And I packed my backpack, I took some food, I have all the most important equipment, and I'm about to hike deep into the Amazon rainforest. As far as I know, in this particular patch of the forest there are no trails, there are no people living here. I really want to explore the wildlife. So follow me, because this will be interesting. So some of you might be wondering, man, you got to be nuts. You'll get lost in the rainforest. But first of all, I have a GPS on my phone. Second of all, so far I'm walking along the shore of this river, River Sukundiri. And this is one wild river because I heard that further downstream black caimans are living. And I came up with this interesting plan, because at some point, I think 400 meters further, I will bump into this little Igarapé, a tiny stream, little river that flows into this big river. So I'm planning to walk along this Igarapé, and this is how I will dive deep into the jungle. And as long as I will stay close to this river, I won't get lost, and I will always have a decent access to water, which is important. So that's my plan. I don't know how this will play out. I'm really improvising and just testing the water. And here it is, this little Igarapé, Igarapé Santarém. This is where my hike starts. So I just barely hiked into the jungle. In fact, this village that I left this afternoon is very close. And this is my first campsite, and on the same tree where I hanged my hammock, I find this little guy. This is Titius metuendus, and it's considered to be the most dangerous scorpion of the region. So just one little sting from the tip of that tail, and I would enter a world of pain. This scorpion could sure put me in misery. Is it lethal? I really don't know. I have no idea how it would work on my body, but it sure would be painful. So it's really hilarious that literally 4 hours into the hike and I'm already finding these. I think I'll just leave it here, you know, like let him guard me. So rainforest is arguably the most biodiverse ecosystem that there is. But observing wildlife in the rainforest is notoriously difficult because vegetation is extremely thick, extremely dense, and all of these creatures, they really know how to hide. Like today. Today I was hiking through the jungle all day and I saw a group of peccaries, I saw all kinds of birds. I also saw one snake called parrot snake that I've never seen before, but unfortunately I failed to catch it. But most of these creatures, I saw them just for a split second, because you just see them and then they just disappear in the bushes. You see that construction behind me? This is completely nuts. You know, I specifically chose this river because it's very remote, so there are no people living around, so I can hike into the wilderness. And on Google Maps, on a satellite map, this is just a jungle, while in reality you can see a house and there is a bridge, and if there is a bridge it means there is a road. None of that is on the map, so this should be brand new. So it's really strange surprise, I would say unpleasant surprise. Deforestation is moving in so fast that Google Maps are unable to catch up with it. I mean, it's crazy. So lessons from the Amazon. When you're dealing with Brazilian farmers, maps don't make any sense. I mean, this looks almost like some magical realism, and it looks like a well-established farm, but it's got to be brand new. And this is a big property and there's a big long fence, so I really wonder whether I will be able to get to this river again. I'll try to walk down this road. But you know, even the fact that there is a road is crazy. I mean, on a satellite map this is just a plain jungle. This is nuts. So fortunately that property wasn't too big. I was just walking along the fence for a while and then I just jumped right back into the rainforest. And I started walking through the forest and I noticed that a big patch of that forest was burned down or affected by fire recently. And that was a bit strange. And then I went deeper and deeper and deeper and I was checking my Google Maps, my GPS, and I noticed that it was pretty far from that river. And then the sun was going down and eventually I found myself in the darkness. So I was lucky enough to find this little stream. And I'm pretty sure that this stream flows right back into that river. So tomorrow I'll go back on the right track, but tonight I'm sleeping here. It's not too bad. This is some old patch of rainforest. It's nice. Look at this. I left my shoes and my machete on the ground. And now it's completely covered by termites. Look at this. So termites are really important to the rainforest ecosystem because they consume dead wood, dead plant material, and most of them are capable of breaking down cellulose. So that's one of the main reasons why you don't find too many logs laying around. Everything is being consumed, and at very fast rate. Personally, what surprised me is that how quickly they show up. You just drop something on the forest floor, and if termites find it to be attractive, you will find it covered with them in a matter of 15 minutes, 1 hour, and after an entire night on the ground it looks like that. By the way, they don't sting, they don't bite, they just crawl on you. And my shoes as well. Wow. Boy oh boy. It takes so much more time and so much more effort to filter my water. Because this filter is not new anymore. I've been using it quite often over the last 4 or 5 months. So I think all this part is full of all kinds of crap. And I have only 2 options. I can either filter my water or I can boil my water. If you're using filter, usually it takes a lot of time and it takes some effort, but water tastes good. And if you're boiling your water, well, it takes less effort, but taste of that water is somewhat funky, you know. And then there is third option. I could just drink it straight from the stream. And actually I saw some local Brazilians do it in here in Amazonian region. And I've seen people doing it all throughout Latin America, but I had some water poisonings in my life and I'm just not taking any chances, you know. It's just too risky. So it took me quite some time to hike back to this river. I mean, this is really hilly terrain, so I was just hiking up and down these hills and eventually I managed to get back on the right track. But to be honest with you, I am quite tired. I slept really poorly last night, so I think for now I will have a little siesta. And later today, this evening, tonight, I will hike into the jungle, but at night with a flashlight, just to look for some wildlife. But now I just need to get some rest. I don't know what happened, but I'm sleepy as hell. So some beans, some garlic. You know, eating like this I will live for centuries and centuries, you know. Now this toad is pretty common animal in here, but it's really a good example of how well some of these animals in the rainforest just disappear in their environment. You see, the bottom, the belly, is dark, almost black with some dots. And on the back, it's creamish brown. It looks exactly like a leaf. So they just disappear in their environment, so it's hard to see one even though they're really common. You know, rainforest really comes alive at night, so it's always a thrill to walk around, especially now without trails. Although I think it's pretty easy to get lost in the rainforest. Like if you're not on a trail, it gets tricky, especially if you get really deep. Like I'm locating myself just because there is a river nearby, so I can hear the water going or just frogs croaking or something. And I have a GPS on my phone too. So yeah, I've seen some stuff, but once again, it's really difficult to capture everything on camera. And I saw this really big lancehead viper. But the moment snake felt my presence, it just instantly slithered under these giant rocks. So for about a good half an hour, maybe 45 minutes, I was trying to get this viper, and I was slowly moving under these rocks. But after some time I realized that there is some sort of a little cave in there, and there's absolutely no way I could get inside, so I just had to give up. And it might seem to be funny or childish to some, but each time I fail to capture a snake that is interesting to me, I'm sort of blaming myself for it. Oh man, come on, you're better than that. So yeah, it was a bit of a drag. Nonetheless, Amazon is big. Hopefully there's still many pit vipers on my way. I need to go back to the camp because my flashlight is running out of battery. There is a group of capuchin monkeys up there, high in the trees. Like a minute ago, literally branches were falling on my hammock. A little bit of this, a little bit of that. Oop, 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 oop. This will make me strong. So it is time for me to start slowly moving back to the village. I'm not too far. I probably hiked just about 10 or 15 kilometers, but terrain was really complicated. It's really hilly in here, and I must confess that that little cattle farm that I found on my way really spoiled my mood. But I wasn't planning to hike too much. I just wanted to take some break from cycling and just enter the rainforest a little bit more. I'm definitely planning some longer hikes in the near future, and I'm definitely not going back the same way I came here, but at some point I should end up walking along the same river. So I don't know whether I will reach the village this evening or tomorrow in the morning. More like tomorrow in the morning. I still got some food on me, but just really, that little farm I found really spoiled my mood. So much for pristine, untouched nature, you know. So I was just walking through the jungle, and I noticed that all kinds of things are falling from these trees. And there's a group of monkeys, and they're feasting on these fruits, and leftovers just falling down. So I started to try, come on, take some pictures, and they noticed that there is some gringo downstairs, and I think they intentionally started throwing things at me, which is hilarious. I mean, I heard about it, I read about it, but I never experienced this. Although those are really tiny items so far, so. Ooh. Ooh. Fuck. Oh. They hit the target. Oh. Oh.